Good morning.
Good morning.
Who even
cares?
That
is the question of the day. Today, it is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. 157 milligrams of caffeine straight to my system, and I am Drake Toll from the Savannah Bananas organization and Locked On Big 12. 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Time, you and I will hang out every single day on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Addie Bates is producing. And I ask you the question, who even cares?
Who even cares
about the NFL schedule release?
I can't
believe it. Did you see how easy of a schedule they gave us? I mean, really?
You already knew
half your games, given your division. You knew most of your games, actually. And this is just an opportunity for your team to post a silly graphic or a video that describes what date your team will play on.
Monday
night,
Thursday night,
Sunday night.
That's what this is.
That's what this is, right? That's all it is.
Well, no.
I even cares
about the
NFL schedule release.
And I thought last night
from a Westwood One Sports perspective, whether it was Ryan Radke or Kevin Harlan, Kurt Warner, Leonard Williams, who joined the show with Mike Golick and Scott Graham on our schedule release special, it made the moment big. In years past, here has been my qualm. And you know what? It's still my qualm.
Is that
I do schedule release day, and there are Jacksonville Jaguars fans who say,
I'm so hyped,
but we got such an easy schedule. I really see how we could contend.
Well, I turned the
TV on last night, and lo and behold, the New York Jets fans.
Welcome into the sports show. Can
you believe it? The New York Jets are finally going to contend because the schedule is so easy in 2026.
This is a free opportunity for 24 hours for you to make any excuse possible for your team to be good. Or if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan prone to negativity at dinner with Ivan Trazak last night. One of my best friends in the world. Philadelphia Eagles fan. Who said I saw the Eagles schedule. They're going 0-17. That's just kind of part of
being an Eagles fan.
That's what you're prone
toward.
In the past and years past,
I would have told you the NFL schedule release is meaningless.
But now I get it. Now I understand. Now I see it. It is again
the 24-hour period where you as a Dallas Cowboys fan, you as a Los Angeles Rams fan can say, we're going to win the Super Bowl.
And it's an opportunity for you to relish in your team playing in primetime.
NFL.com. By the way, can I ask you a question? I know this is the Drake Toll Show.
And you're just a regular guy in Texas. But I'm going to ask you this question.
You can respond, by the way, 310-840-4910. 310-840-4910.
And my question is, when did we start allowing NFL.com,
the league's official site, to have opinions?
It's weird, isn't it?
Like
NFL.com.
How do I go there and see the biggest losers of the NFL draft? Of the NFL schedule. Well, you can.
You can probably see
the biggest losers of the NFL draft as well.
But according to
NFL.com, the league, their website, they did this. They built the schedule.
The biggest
winner
of the schedule
released last night
is Patrick Mahomes. Saying the Chiefs' schedule is not without its challenges. But it appears that
Mahomes will have a fairly good chance of getting to the early part, assuming he's back for Week 1.
I'm
not sure if
Week 1
is where Mahomes will make his debut in 2026. The Denver Broncos
coming to
town
in Game 1. Is that the biggest winner? Is that what we're calling
calling
easy?
Easy?
the Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
And what the league has given
Mahomes
Monday night, extra day. Okay. Extra couple days if you consider the Wednesday game we're going to play between two contenders
out of the NFC West.
I digress. Mahomes will have every last minute to rehab.
Then
the
Colts and
Miami, Las Vegas. After a year where the Chiefs missed the postseason, the NFL looked around and said, Where's Taylor Swift?
We gotta have Taylor Swift in the playoffs, right, guys?
Remember Travis Kelce's dating Taylor Swift.
We need to have that in the playoffs. We can't not have that in the playoffs.
So NFL.com,
the league itself
says the biggest winner of the schedule release last night,
the Kansas City Chiefs
and Patrick Mahomes.
Aaron Glenn.
The same Aaron Glenn who's going to be fired. I've told you this multiple times.
The head coach of the New York Jets.
Here's the deal.
Half of you just heard that name. Half of you just heard Aaron Glenn and had no idea that was the head coach of the New York Jets.
And I
don't blame you.
They change them
every 2 years.
Similar to
my rotation of underwear.
The Jets are
filtering head coaches.
Glenn is a biggest winner
according to the league.
He won three games
last season, and drum roll, please. No, doesn't deserve it. 10th straight losing season for the franchise.
But for
24 hours, there's a, according to the league, glimmer of hope.
Okay.
Four of their first 8 games: the Titans, the Browns, the Dolphins, the Raiders.
Are they
listen to that again. The Titans, the Browns, the Dolphins, the Raiders.
If you win those 4 games,
which by the way might be the Jets' only 4 wins of the season, and anyone who expects the Jets to contend, anyone who expects the Jets to want to win is a loser,
is a biggest
loser of the day, and is wrong.
Glenn could be sitting
it. This is what the league writes. NFL.com. Win those 4, and Glenn would be sitting at 500 at worst, nearing the midpoint of the season. Do you understand how bad of a franchise you have to be that you're trying to win the schedule release, and that the league, NFL.com, is posting? Maybe by the middle of the year, you could be close to 500. Is that what you want to hang your hat on? We could possibly be close to 500 at the midpoint of the season. And if he wins 4 games, he's surpassed last year's total. And then what happens after that? He gets fired for going 4-13. They have a bye week on week 13. Their bye week comes week 13. They have the Chiefs, the Broncos, the division games against the Bills, and the New England Patriots. How are they a biggest winner in this? The Green Bay Packers. If Matt LaFleur is facing any pressure this season, per NFL.com, perhaps a softer early slate can help. Might be hot in Tampa Bay in week 4, but the Packers return home for 4 of the next 6 games at Lambeau. All right, you play a lot of home games in your first 10 weeks, then draw the Bills, the Dolphins, the Texans. I need to know, man. I need to know. The schedule release, what is it other than an opportunity for 24 hours? And I get it now. I understand now why you care. I understand why you talk about it. I understand why we do the pomp and circumstance around it. But what I need to know is genuinely, what is the point? If not for after 24 hours of you saying, I really like our schedule this year. I feel like it favors us. I think we could really win with this. What is the and you know what I think it's one of the silliest parts of this entire deal. One of the things I think is one of the things I shouldn't speak in ifs, ands. The silliest thing about this schedule release is, well, welcome to the sports radio show. Did you see it? The Carolina Panthers have the easiest schedule in the NFL.
the biggest winners of the schedule release. The Los Angeles Rams, the Dallas Cowboys, the Green Bay Packers. For what? Do you think, what do you mean easiest schedule? Do you think that, like, somebody help me here. Do you think last year's records are going to play into how these teams do next year? Because you're telling me that the Chiefs are going to win more, and the Ravens are going to win more, and the Packers are going to win more. So if you're can you help me with this? If you're telling me that these teams are going to win more next year, but you're also factoring them into the fact that, well, the Dallas Cowboys have the easiest schedule because they play the hypothetical, because they play the Packers and the Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. You're telling me those teams are going to be a lot better next year, but you're telling me the Cowboys have the easiest schedule because last season, those teams that are on their schedule in 2026 lost. I don't give a rat's ass what happened last year, right? Because these teams all drafted new players. These teams all lost players. These teams all gained new talent in free agency. So do not come into this room, do not sit at my table and tell me so-and-so has the easiest schedule. What does the easiest schedule mean if we don't know who these teams are yet? Last year, if you told me, oh, wow, this team plays 3 of their first 6 games out of their division against the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Lions, don't you think I would look at that preseason and say, well, they have the toughest schedule in the world? And then guess who missed the playoffs? The Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Lions. If you are an NFL fan who woke up today because of the schedule release yesterday and said, now our path is easier, now we're going to make the postseason. I read on NFL.com that we're the biggest winners of the schedule release, and the NFL is the one that released the schedule. If that's how you view this, you need to take a long look in the mirror at what you value out of the NFL schedule release and how it really matters. Because does it, man? You knew half these games. You knew most of these games. And if there's anything, if there is a takeaway, if there is a biggest winner or a biggest loser that I can give you, and again, I understand what this is. It's a 24-hour period where we get to talk football. It's a 24-hour period where we get to talk about the NFL, where it's back. And the Titans do the thing where they ask the guy on the street, who's this logo? The Sunburnt Dogs? No, it's the Cleveland Browns. Ha, 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 ha. He said Sunburned Dogs. Ha, 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 ha. It's a cute 24 hours. But if you think your team won the Super Bowl yesterday, you're wrong. You got to check yourself. You're going to, well, according to analytics, we have the easiest schedule. Do you? Because again, I just posed you the question. Last year, the toughest schedule in the league would have had the Lions, the Chiefs, and the Ravens on their schedule. And none of those teams made the playoffs. Preseason, you would have thought, we're done. We're dead to rights. Only to find out that none of those teams would contend or compete. So what do you want from me? Huh? The biggest loser today is us, the United States of America. I already can't afford to go to half the games in the NFL. I can't afford to sit anywhere other than the 400 section. Can you? If you can, if you're not complaining about the ticket prices or popcorn prices or beer prices at an NFL game, well then kudos to you, man. Whatever you've got figured out in life, whatever you have figured out financially, congrats up top. Nice high five. But the everyman, for me, it's tough to get to an NFL game. Oh, but what if we make it tougher? Say hello to Australia. Say hello to Brazil. Say hello to London, England. Say hello to Uganda. Say hello to South Africa. Say hello to India. Say hello to Pakistan. Gaza Strip, we'll play there. Money, 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 money. The biggest loser is you and me and everybody. Well, you know, we're really trying to hit an international audience here. What? The NFL has one of the best TV products of any sport in the world. The NFL has one of the best. It's the sport. It's the league. It's what we watch. It's what we do. So let's send it overseas because we need to drum up more attention over there. I don't think so. Korea is not sending its baseball teams. Well, specifically, North Korea is not. But even South Korea is not sending its baseball teams to the United States. Why? Because South Koreans want to watch their baseball in South Korea. Japan, same thing. New Zealand, their rugby. They're not sending rugby teams over here. Look at this. One time only at Hard Rock Stadium. The New Zealand national rugby team. No. We're doing this and diluting the product for NFL fans. So what I am saying, what I am getting at is don't freak out over the NFL schedule release last night. It's not that deep, and it's not about you. Oh, and by the way, your team did not win the Super Bowl. Oh, and by the way, your schedule is not that hard. Oh, and by the way, your schedule is not that easy. Oh, and by the way, if there's one thing that we can all in unison think based on last night and based on today, it's not, wow, I can't believe the Philadelphia Eagles got a real good, a real favorable schedule. No, it's the fact that we are taking more and more National Football League games. As we keep adding them, as we have 17 now, dilute the record books. And we're taking those games that you already couldn't afford, that you already couldn't go to, that I already couldn't afford, that I already couldn't go to, and now we're putting them overseas. So if you can't afford a ticket, good luck with a flight. Good luck buying a ticket from Hartford, Connecticut to London. You can't. And they know that. We're all the biggest losers. When we come back, let's make ourselves winners. Kevin Harlan, Kurt Warner, Ryan Radke, waxing poetic last night. They had good thoughts on the NFL schedule release, the storylines that you need to follow, the level-headed storylines that you need to know. It is Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Freaks me out, and if I need a breather I can hit the parkway. Be home before the bars all close, drink away the lies she told. Think about the days she was a pure-eyed child, a rodeo queen, high school lover in a badass Jeep, far from the eyes of a watchful town. Mama didn't need to know. Good corn liquor to shake this cold, and good hot loving on a gravel road. Juliet, won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo? Push came down to shove, I'd be a band for her love. Shoot sharp and walk away. She was good before she changed her name, and I bet that ain't all that's changed. Goddamn, I remember the nights. I was a young punk kid from a dried up town, Cold Car County full of hunting hounds. She was the one who kept those boys at bay. Her high heels and my red wing boots, cutting couches in the living room. Juliet, won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo? can't win for all this losing. I can't see for all this boozing. But by God, I can keep it together. Just to hold my baby close, get her moving down a county road, make up for lost time. She was a few-eyed child of a rodeo queen. She ran on sex and gasoline, far more money than a boy like me could hold. She went off to paint the town, and I'm stuck holding these mountains down. Juliet, won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo? Won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo? Freaks me out, and if I need a breather I can hit the parkway, be home before the bars all close, drink away the lies she told, think about the days. She was a few-eyed child, a rodeo queen, high school lover in a badass Jeep, far from the eyes of a watchful town. Mama didn't need to know. Good corn liquor to shake this cold, good heart loving on a gravel road. Juliet, won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo?
Touch yourself.
Death! Texas! Tanner Thomas long ball!
Interesting. Proceed.
Yeah!
It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Good morning. But the Los Angeles Rams play in primetime for half their games. How did the guy get on the radio this morning and say the NFL schedule release is kind of a joke?
What?
I am Drake Toll from the Savannah Bananas organization and Locked On Big 12. Oh, you want to talk about jokes? It's them Savannah Bananas, man. They're doing all that singing and dancing. All right, well, Kirby Smart was a part of it last weekend. You know that name. Chipper Jones was a part of it last weekend. Man, I hate that. I can't stand all that singing and dancing. Well, if Kirby Smart can like it, I can too. Hey, you know what? You know who I hung out with yesterday all day? I don't get started. I have been working hand in hand. Diana Rossini, Mike Vrabel. I've been working hand in hand. I've been interlocking fingers for the last 2 months with Jackie Bradley Jr., who plays in our organization now for the Indianapolis Clowns. And it's like, all right, hey, you show up to work. And last night I had to give Jackie a ton of notes because we're building this show for the Indianapolis Clowns. The last surviving brand from the Negro Leagues, 1989 was when they folded. Bob Kendrick, the president of the Negro Leagues Museum in Kansas City, helped bring back this Indianapolis Clowns brand in the Banana Ball Championship League. It's an awesome story. And so yesterday we were at the ballpark for all of eternity to build the show. What is it going to look like tonight in Indianapolis, where I am right now, when we sell out 15,000 people at Victory Field? What does the show look like? And so, you know, we got Jackie on the microphone, and he's not reading, but he's reciting these lines to describe the history of this brand and what it means to the sport of baseball.
And I've been working with Jackie for a couple months, not starstruck, part of my job, part of what we do. And you know who else plays for the team? Monet Davis. And I can't, I made a joke last night. Cameron Stewart, who's been on this show multiple times, the Wicked Boston show, he was at the bar. We went to dinner with him at St. Elmo's or Father Elmo. And we left there, went to the bar. There was a Hooters. We almost went to the Hooters instead of St. Elmo's. I love Hooters. I love
good wings.
The wings. Correct. Great wings. Interesting per se. I love the wings. And Paul McCartney. And we got done and went to the bar, and I looked at him and Sarah Bott, who runs our social media, and said, we should invite Monet Davis to the bar. And not an hour later, Sarah was like, don't look now, but behind you, Monet Davis did just walk through the door. And I got starstruck, man. Like, that got me. Monet Davis, cover of Sports Illustrated, a one-hitter in the Little League World Series, and a legend, you know that. You still remember that name today, Monet Davis from the Little League World Series. Starstruck all day yesterday. Drake Toll with you. If you could keep listening to the entirety of the Drake Toll show, I'm going to keep it so incredibly real today. Because here's the deal. You can listen to the Drake Toll show in full after it's over in podcast form. You can do that by searching the Drake Toll show wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can listen to the Drake Toll show live, even though they cut off this show for the Dick and Doug show. You can go to the Westwood One Sports app, you pull that up, and you listen to the Drake Toll show live. I'm allowing you to do that today. And here's why. Here's why I want you to join. I want you to hold my hand. I want you to interlock fingers. I want you to be pregnant on a boat that we sign off on together, and we take it for a ride. The year is 2021. You're Diana Rossini. I'm Drake Toll. Hot. That was a topic of conversation last night at dinner as well. Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel. Awesome that our social media manager was like, what are you guys talking about? I was like, oh, do we have tea? And the layers of that story are incredible. I can promise you this, I'm not going to spend today telling you that your team's going to win the Super Bowl. I'm going to spend today talking about how the NFL schedule release from last night isn't that deep. It's not. But PFF analytics tell us that we have the toughest schedule in the league. This could be the death of our franchise. We don't care. Again, we don't know who's going to be good and who's going to be bad. What we do know is the Rams, they win with as many primetime games. Half their games are primetime on your television. And we're going to see a lot of Matthew Stafford and the Rams this year. The Niners, they did lose based on travel. I think they go 38,000 combined miles in their 17 games. That's bad. Couple international games back-to-back on their docket. That is bad. But more so, the storylines, and I thought Westwood One Sports, we did such a good job of covering it last night. The storylines are not that your team's going to win the Super Bowl. The storylines are how to look at the schedule, the games on the schedule, the days, like the Saturdays on the schedule, and the matchups that are going to be fun to watch. Kevin Harlan was blunt when it comes to the New York Football Giants being another team similar to those Rams that are heavily featured in primetime in 2026. Kevin Harlan on Westwood One Sports last night gave us his thoughts on John Harbaugh's team being in the limelight.
Clearly the coach and the change there, Mike, as you know, and the quarterback really is he's an eye catcher. He is a player that you want to see, and he'll be, I think, better in his second year than he was as a rookie last year, and that is exciting. And we see people are bullish on the roster that the Giants have, but you know, John Harbaugh has had success, and he has a method and a model that he follows, and I really believe that he will take what he's inheriting and make it really competitive. That division, the Eagles are on a couple times. We're getting a good look at some of these prominent teams. The division is as treacherous as you might expect, but I think just having kind of a new culture with the Giants will put them in a position, and there really is hope, legitimate hope, with hopefully a healthy Scattaboo and an offensive line that is reputable at the least, and a quarterback who they've got a lot of faith in.
The New York Giants want to win, and in their trek to win, let me get this out of the way. Yeah, I was listening to the radio this morning, and that idiot radio host said the New York Giants want to win as if they want to lose. Franchise want to lose. Happens every year, all the time. Losing is a strategy. Losing is a strategy for most teams. Losing is gospel for the Jets and the Giants. This year, the Giants want to win. The Cowboys, week 1, that's a winnable game. The Rams, week 2, get your ass beat. Titans, uh-oh. Cardinals, uh-oh. Commanders, whoa. Saints, hello. The Giants could start 5-1, 4-2. 4-2 I'd take. Before facing the Texans, then a bye week, then the Eagles. Then the Commanders, Jaguars, Colts. The Giants' schedule is fair. If I'm a Giants fan, I woke up today, and I'm drinking that Kool-Aid. Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night, Monday night. 4 of these big-time, prime-time, standalone games for the New York Giants. Harlan continued on the Monday night deal. No Monday night double. No, hey, first game's at 7:30 Eastern, second game's at 10 o'clock Eastern. No more of that. Here is Kevin Harlan on Westwood One Sports last night on the NFL on Monday night double headers.
The NFL is always pretty nimble, and they get it in terms of putting the best games, the marquee games, on those single slots. And another reminder about Monday night this year, we don't have the double headers anymore. Those are going elsewhere. Those games no longer exist. We've been going through those things for about 3 or 4 or 5 years, and they've always been kind of cumbersome and a little bbit clunky. That's gone now. So the Monday night game is a standalone game. Thursday, standalone game. Sunday night has always been a standalone game. So even in the heart of the regular season, without holidays playing a factor, that they've kind of redefined those standalone games. And the league will not hesitate as we get into the year and storylines develop and injuries taking their toll, or they don't. Switches can be made. And that always leaves, I think, on these standalone nights, Thursday, Sunday, Monday, a time to really know that we're always going to get the best game and the biggest stage with the best audiences.
So that means the New York Giants, who are the most featured bad team from last year, the NFL they're anticipating the Giants will win in 2026. They will get their due on Monday night. Ryan Radke, Westwood One Sports, went in on the New York Giants, whose season opener is against the Dallas Cowboys, and that is a tone setter for both. The Cowboys need a new and improved defense. The Giants need a new and improved entire football team. That game is going to tell us a lot, and it's a prime time matchup between the Giants and the Cowboys. Ryan Radke.
We were there a couple of years ago, Sunday night opener. Giants were coming off the playoffs, and It was, man, there was so much excitement, and it, could not have gone worse. They got blown off the field. It was the downpour that night, and it seems like ever since then, the Giants haven't been able to get out of their own way. But, with all the excitement around them, look, it's week 1. Nothing's going to be decided in week 1, right? But that's going to be one of those games we're going to make way too much of coming out of week 1. Whoever wins. If the Cowboys win it, hey, the Cowboys, this is what we thought. They're on their way. If the Giants win, hey, Harbaugh's here. Things are looking up. So it does. It starts right with that week 1 game.
And that is that tone setter. That is what you can take away from the schedule release last night. Not that your team is going to win the Super Bowl, not that your team is going to be a world beater, but instead that the primetime games that will define the early slate in the NFL are set. Those teams, those matchups are set. When we come back, our biggest losers of the day, not just in the NFL schedule release, but in the world. Who are those losers of the day? And we'll hear more from Leonard Williams, Mike North, Ryan Radke, Kurt Warner, Kevin Harlan, all over today's show from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here with you on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. This Biggest Losers. Up next is the Drake Toll Show.
Slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. I wanna fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free. I go through the revolution. Feed the babies who don't have enough to eat. Shoe the children with no shoes on their feet. House the people living in the street. Oh, there's a solution. I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free. Right through the revolution. Time keeps on slipping into the future. 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 I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free. Right through the revolution. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. slipping.
Come on, girl. Yeah, it's me.
Big Gooner.
Give me that look. That's right. Let's get sweaty. Let's get real sweaty. I'm talking rainforest sweaty.
It is the Drake Toll Show.
Swamp sweaty.
What's the line he gives? He's not from here. Vacitis. Corn dogs, Jackie. Corn dogs. The Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. The first day of the rest of our lives. Friday, May 15th, 2026. Addie Bates is producing. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Addie and the Jiggles, her adult league softball team, played last night. Addie, the last few weeks have been brutal for the Jiggles. I have recommended firing the coach. As far as I know, the coach has not been fired, but that recommendation has not been taken seriously. How did the game go?
We won 17-14.
Wow.
I had a killer RBI double. Oh my goodness. Of course, I'm a pull hitter. You know, I see that. I'm like, I get so excited. And it went into the outfield. It was great. Beautiful shot. I felt like I was on top of the world. Yeah, we won. I turned 2 a couple times when I was, playing second. It was great.
The ball is tipped.
Mm-hmm. And now I'm here.
There you are. I'm considering the things you can do, the things you can accomplish in life. The birth of your first child, not you, but in general.
I have Sinatra.
Or wedding day. Or Johns Hopkins winning the NCAA Women's Lacrosse Championship last night. The defining moments of their life. For you, that moment, RBI double for the Jiggles.
Yeah.
On a Thursday night in the greater Washington, D.C. area. Mm-hmm. Only to be followed by you resting your head to go sleepy time and having a dream about the Wiggles. The popular children's band with hits like Fruit Salad, Yummy Yummy. Could you please enlighten America about your dream following the Jiggles win, about an even bigger Wiggles win?
So they say every dream means something. I would love to know what this means. So I saw that the Wiggles were I was at a county fair or something, okay? I was getting soft serve ice cream. Who do I see? I see Greg Page, the yellow Wiggle. I see him running. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need him to sign something.
Hold on. I do mean to interrupt you, actually. You know the name of the yellow Wiggle?
Yeah, he's my favorite.
Oh my.
And so then I see him. I'm like, I need him to sign something. All I have is a wooden spoon. I'm like, you know what? We're just gonna. So I'm running with this wooden spoon, and this is what's playing in my head, honestly. So I go up to him. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a huge fan. And he told me, you keep the dream alive. And he wrote it on the wooden spoon. And then I got Anthony to sign it. And then I got Murray and Jeff. And I was literally having a conversation with them. They were like, you're a big Wiggles fan? And I was like, I've been a Wiggles fan my whole life. And they were like, prove it. I was like, I was this for Halloween one year. My favorite song is y'all's cover of 6 Months in a Leaky Boat. And they were like, oh, that's a deep cut. And I was like, yes, it is. And they were so proud of me. And so I had this wooden spoon signed by all the Wiggles. And then I woke up. And now I'm here on the Drake Toll Show.
How is there even room on the wooden spoon for them to sign it?
They made it work, and I keep the dream alive.
Also, the Wiggles have names? I thought we just kept them in cages and let them out to sing the Fruit Salad song and then put them back in.
No, yeah, they've all had names this whole time. You've never heard, when they do the toot, toot, chugga, chugga, big red car. And I was like, wake up, Jeff. That's one of the lines.
Jeff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with it now. I was the pirate for Halloween one year. I cried. I was so happy that I got the costume in the mail. I just Biblically, Daniel had a dream that Egypt would go into a great famine, and he saved the people of Egypt.
Okay, and I'm bringing back
Because
the Wiggles. What's your point?
He dreamed of a famine. This is after Daniel had been given the coat of many colors, abandoned by his brothers to die, and then was Pharaoh's right-hand man. Addie Bates dreamed about the Wiggles signing her wooden spoon.
Yeah. Do you want to know
telling
what's
her
actually the worst part about
They
this?
said, hello, white girl. Dare
Anyone
to
that can
dream."
analyze dreams, please tell us what that means.
The worst part is like, I don't know what the heck you were doing at the county fair, Drake, but you were in your stupid fur coat and you were carrying someone off into a back room, and I was like, I'll deal with that later. I literally said, I'll get that in a second. I have to go get the Wiggles.
I was carrying away the pirate to ensure that he didn't hijack your moment with the Wiggles.
And I was taking shots
at the
from
county
the front
fair.
and the back.
I was like, I'll get that in a minute.
I am wow.
And when did you ask her for the sports minutes in this dream?
At 5:58. Hello. Sorry, the sports minutes are empty. Wow. The Wiggles told you to dream. And so that message stands true today on the Drake Toll Show. After your NFL team schedule was released yesterday, similar to what Anthony, the yellow Wiggle, told Addie Bates. Sorry, the green Wiggle.
There's
The red Wiggle?
That's Murray.
Oh, great. Hey, which one's Anthony?
The blue one.
Similar to what Anthony, the blue Wiggle, told Addie yesterday.
It was Greg who said
Dare to dream. Greg, dare to dream, white girl. Dare to dream with your NFL team schedule. It's time for our biggest losers of the day. Biggest loser number one. Ari Mirov tweets, for those wondering, the hashtag Chargers didn't avoid the elephant in the room in their schedule release video when they were up to the Patriots. The quote is, next photo dump, 1 mile. New York Post sent you a message. Here's audio from the schedule release for the Chargers.
Week 1 versus the Cardinals. Versus the Cardinals. Grapple Jack. Clipped wings.
Whatever's happening in my ears right now is a dream within itself.
Week 2
That
versus the
is a-
Raiders.
That is exactly what the Westwood One rejoins sound like. Westwood One!
You're not wrong.
Yep. Shortly today, we'll have one of them that's wow. The NFL released its schedule, and the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. We're gonna get that up there. That's coming up. Don't miss it. Biggest losers of the day. I mean, I saw the Chargers were the only ones to bring up Vrabel and Rossini in their deal. It was so good last night explaining to a human who does it, who's just not chronically online and doesn't know about the Vrabel and Rossini deal. Because I'm detailing it. I'm like, okay, so here's what happens. A month ago, we see them interlocking hands in Sedona. And then we see it's laughable, not a thing, like they're just friends. She quits her job because she's so innocent, she needed to quit. She was a distraction. And then after she quits her job, it's like, I think they're being romantic. And then the pictures surface of them together 9 months before she had her first child. Somebody across the table was like, and guess what the child's name is? No. Yes. Mike. Uh-huh. Now Rossini doesn't have a job, and Mike Vrabel will coach the New England Patriots next year. Biggest loser of the day. It's the worst trade deal in history. Many are saying it. Many are saying. Megan Swift tweets, Pittsburgh Zoo and Aquarium is set to trade gorillas with Boston's Franklin Park Zoo. Frankie, Pittsburgh's 7-year-old male western lowland gorilla, will head to Boston, and in exchange, Boston will send 33-year-old Little Joe, the silverback, to Pittsburgh. Stephen Thompson quote tweets it with, Pittsburgh got fleeced. Taking on an aging star without any draft picks in return is insanity. Addy, I would never trade my 7-year-old gorilla for your 33-year-old gorilla.
There's also another quote tweet, and it's a story, and it said in 2003, Little Joe made national headlines when he escaped his enclosure and ran into the city, injuring a 2-year-old girl. The zoo made safety upgrades in the year that followed.
Well, thankfully, they didn't shoot him. Harambe.
R.I.P. King. Never forget.
Biggest winner of the day, the Las Vegas Raiders. Step Brothers, Fernando Mendoza. Let's see what this audio sounds like. Who even cares anymore?
Hey. I'm Kurt.
I'm Fernando.
You're gonna have to call me Kirko Chains.
Cool. You're gonna have to call me the Nandalorian.
So this is the locker room, and rule number 1 is do not step on the shield.
What happens if I sneeze around it?
Don't do it!
What if I...
Don't do it! So what's the best Star Wars movie? Empire Strikes Back or Rogue One?
Ha! Trick question. Star Wars A New Hope, which was originally titled just Star Wars in 1977, but then they changed it to Star Wars A New Hope in 1981. Say your favorite football play on 3. 1,
Fernando Mendoza,
3.
And Kirk Cousins for the Step Brothers reference.
Become best friends?
Very good. Mendoza's a robot. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Addy Bates produces. When we come back, obituaries on the Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One Sport.
She lives for me, says she lives for me, ovation. Well, motivation, she comes round and she goes down on me. And I make you smile like a drug for you. Do ever what you wanna do, coming over you. Keep on smiling what we go through. One stop to the rhythm that defines you. And I speak to you like the chorus to the verse. Drop another line like a go-to with the curse. Coming like a freak show, takes the stage. We give them the game, she plays, she say, I want something else to get me through this semi-time kind of life. Baby, baby, I want something else. I'm not listening when you say goodbye. The sky was gold, it was rose. I was taking sips of it to my nose, and I wish I could get back there, someplace back there, smiling in the pictures you would take. To a crystal method, lift you up until you break, it won't stop. I won't come down and keep stop with the tick-tock rhythm. I bumped for the drop and then I bumped up. I took the hit that I was given, then I bumped again, then I bumped again. I said, how do I get back there to the place where I fell asleep inside you? How do I get myself back to the place where you said I want something else to get me through this semi-time kind of life. Baby, baby, I want something else. I'm not listening when you say goodbye. I believe in the sand beneath my toes. The beach gives a feeling, energy feeling. I believe in the faith that grows, and the floor I go can make me cry. When I'm with you, I feel like I could die, and that would be alright, alright. survive those days you were wearing that velvet dress. You're the priestess, I must confess. Those little red panties, they pass the test. Let's look around the belly, face down on the mattress. One, and you hold me, and we are broken. Still excited, I wanna feel just a little. Now feel myself heavy off the ground. I'm scared, I'm not coming down. No, no, and I won't run from my life. She's got the toss now locked down in a smile, but nothing is alright, alright. I want something else to get me through this life, baby. I want something else. Not listening when you say she lives for me, says she lives for me, ovation. Who won't motivation? She comes round and she goes down on me, and I make you smile like a drug for you. Do ever what you wanna do, coming over you. Keep on smiling what we go through.
What do you want from me? It's the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. It is Addie Bates producing, Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Here's what my bosses want from me. Our obituary. Dead today. My ability to do ad reads. Sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting your business vehicles 24/7. See if you can save at progressivecommercial.com. Well, that was supposed to happen 6 minutes ago. Thank you. Been working on that one. I was nervous for it. It's a new one. It's tough. Took me a while to get it down. Dead today. Your ability to see Arch Manning, Addie's future husband, play against Texas A&M. Addie, the top 5 most expensive college football games in 2026. Those estimates via Game Time have been released. The number 1 most expensive game, Texas at Texas A&M. Number 2, Ohio State at Texas. Number 3, Texas versus Oklahoma. If you'd like to see Arch Manning live this year, take out a loan or just don't see him play live.
I'll be seeing him play live. I get to see him. I'm going to the very woke city of Baton Rouge to see Texas and LSU.
Well, yeah, it's a safe haven of diversity.
I get to see my husband, future husband.
What are they paying you? How did you win Baton Rouge?
Yeah.
You're going to LSU, Texas in Baton Rouge?
Of course I am.
Whoa. How'd you pull that off?
let's see, half of my family went to LSU and the other half went to UT. So, and then there's me, proud Valpo
season
grad.
ticket holders.
No. It was just we were able to get tickets. We bought them really early on.
It's going to be a very not racist game.
Correct.
I just have to be
very racially sensitive.
I have to be like 1,000 feet away from Arch at all times, though. But that's okay.
It's the restraining order.
I'm kidding.
And
There's not a restraining
schools.
order. There is not a restraining order against Arch.
Yet.
Or myself.
Addie
he was in
is to
DC
Arch
last
Manning
weekend.
as Curtis is to local high schools.
Jesus. You're the one wearing the Brigham Young shirt.
Okay. All right, you're done. Dead
when
today.
I say factual statement.
Addie Bates, that's the Drake Toll Show producer. Dead today. American chain restaurants. Oh no. Yesterday, the President of the United States went to China and spoke to China and said that while the supreme leader, or whatever the hell they call the Chinese guy, was in attendance, Trump spoke about Chinese restaurants in America today. Mr. President, take it away.
As allies in World War II, President Franklin Roosevelt's mentions of the brave people of China, that's what they were, drew loud cheers in his speeches in the United States, and everybody loved what he had to say. Just as many Chinese now love basketball and blue jeans, Chinese restaurants in America today outnumber the 5 largest fast food chains in the United States, all combined. That's a pretty big statement.
那么，作为2战期间的盟国，罗斯福总统在美国的多次演讲当中提到了勇敢的中国人民。正如当前许多中国人非常喜欢篮球和穿蓝色的牛仔裤，在美国目前的中餐厅的数量要比美国前5大快餐连锁店的总的店面还要多。
In case you're wondering.
It would have been so great if after the translator stopped, Trump said, I didn't say that. He just didn't put that into
I think he was trying to.
Wrong.
I think he was trying to talk nice about China so he could meet General So.
P.F. Chang? Where's P.F. Chang? That's his first question. That was his first question. The people of America. I love that I don't have a Trump impression. I don't need to. I don't really care. I love that he was like, and of course, Franklin Roosevelt, who loved China. And now you all, the Chinese, who love things like basketball, blue jeans. We actually have more Chinese restaurants than American restaurants in America. He
Open on
he
Christmas.
Went over there and said, he went over there and said, Ni hao, konnichiwa. Where is Yao Ming? What?
Where is
Point me
General
to Jackie
So?
Chan.
Where is General So?
I demand to meet Jackie Chan.
Then he stood there at the podium and waited for a fortune cookie.
Where's Bruce Lee? Bruce is in the audience tonight. Bruce, my good-looking guy Bruce down here. I just can't. What the hell did Franklin Roosevelt have to do with this? And they were getting loud for Franklin Roosevelt. And then the Chinese people love basketball and blue jeans. Why blue jeans? Oh my gosh. Oh, that is
They're woke
great.
jeans too. Why didn't you say red jeans?
The woke jeans, yes, the woke jeans. And dead today, the Wildcat Wall being a thing that people like. Students are complaining at Northwestern at the Wildcat Wall. College transfer portal says Northwestern has revealed its new European football-inspired student section at New Ryan Field. The catch, students cannot sit down at games. They can only stand. Addie, what are your thoughts on this?
If you're sitting in the or if you're in the student section, I should say, you should be standing all the time. Get your ass up. I've always thought that when I would go to Valpo games, if I saw people sitting, I would call them out like on air. I'd be like, what is going on here? You're in the student section. Your whole point of you being
You'd call them out on air?
Yeah, of course I would.
Well, the three people listening to this.
I would be like, oh, there's our wonderful student section as they're sitting their asses down. I would say that.
You said the A word? I'm not allowed to say that. My mom doesn't let me.
Well, you usually put the word hole after that, and that's what gets us in trouble.
Oh, my God. Please don't.
I forgot,
FCC is going to get us.
Sorry, you're wearing the BYU stuff. I got to keep it PG. These jokes. Yeah, no, I love this idea. If you're in the student section, you should be standing the entire time.
Okay, but what about halftime?
That's usually when I'm going to go get beers. It literally takes
They
that
sell
long.
beer at Northwestern?
Yes, they do.
I get this. I understand it. And as a former high school student section leader, that's right. Come on, give it up.
You would be the
And someone who complained incessantly throughout college about how bad the Baylor student section was to the point of humiliation. I agree that everyone should stand up in a student section. However, the impracticality, Addie, of it being halftime and I can't put my butt in a seat, I hate that. I want to know that after we're getting killed 45-0 at the hands of the Texas Tech Red Raiders, that my fellow Baylor Bears, Sick'em Bears, can just sit down in peace and solidarity.
I mean, you could just sit on the floor.
Also, it's Northwestern. What do those nerds have to cheer about anyway? Football team sucks perennially.
Their journalism program.
Right. That's what Northwestern does, is journalism. Not football. Not sports.
Okay,
We're
so
really
then they
gonna
can
make
leave
these
at
nerds do
halftime.
sports?
I'm sure they're leaving at halftime anyway, so.
They're not even showing up to start with. We talk about leave at halftime. They might get there at halftime because they lost a bet with their friend.
What about Ryan Day?
Hello, fellow Northwestern student. If our beloved football team is down by less than 35, you have to go at halftime to the football game. That's how they talk in Northwestern. They make them talk like that.
Yes, famous
And then
Chicago accent.
Northwestern's down 38-0, so the one who proposed the bet has to go stand the rest of the game. Oh, drats. I must watch the rest of the contest from the standing-only section against Rutgers.
That lakefront's kind of cool, though, at that stadium.
It is.
The lake is nice. That's a saving grace. Congrats, Northwestern, on sports. Those are our obituaries. It's time for the Quickie. Top 5 headlines and all of sports. Addie Bates reads the headlines. Drake Toll responds.
Third person.
Gently.
Nice. Mitch Marner propelled the Golden Knights past the Anaheim Ducks 5-1 in Game 6 clincher, and now they're in the conference finals.
And here's the highlight.
Broken up by William Karlsson. He springs a man, Mitch Marner, who's in, and he stuffs it home! Mitchell Marner! It's a stretch pass from Wild Bill.
Look at the position of Karlsson, and in one motion, there's Mitch Marner. Look at the end of this goal. No, not here, right there. What a beautiful play there by Karlsson to recognize he's got a second. Gets his head up, sees Marner streaking right down the middle. And what a skilled play there by Marner between the legs.
He stuffs it home.
Between the legs, he stuffs it home.
Big Gooner.
Vegas is moving on. Again, I've seen Vegas live, my own two eyes, this postseason. They will not come close to contending against the Avalanche, but that's okay. At least they're in the conference finals for the 5th time in 9 years. That's crazy. It's a minute.
Stay in hockey for a second. Suzuki Evans capped second period surge. Canadians beat Sabres 6-3 to take a 3-2 lead in the second round series.
Canadians over the Sabres. Here's the highlight.
Here's Davidoff in again! And look at it
it's in! Looking to look behind, and the red light is on!
Well, it's not screened now. Luukkonen kind of loses his net a little bit there. I think that's one where Evans had to go after it. I don't think that had enough on it to slide. Look at it, it's rolling and stops right there. Evans on the doorstep, able to get behind the goaltender and get a piece of it.
Yeah, you're right. So the Canadians with the most power play opportunities in the playoffs. Go to work on their first of the night with just under 2.5 minutes to go, and Suzuki scores! 10 seconds in, and now Montreal has a 2-goal lead.
It's in.
I hate hockey. I have been vocal on this show about my love for playoff hockey, postseason hockey. But imagine if we, in the NBA, if we made the Spurs and the Thunder play in the second round. That would be stupid, right? Imagine if in the NBA, in round one, we let the Magic play, I don't know, the Raptors. That would be stupid, right? Why the hell does hockey do it? You know, like three of the top 5 teams, the Wild, the Stars, the Avalanche, all had to play in the same. They were in those are 3 of the 4 teams on the same side of the bracket, playing in the first or second round. That's stupid, man. And now it leads to a lopsided conference finals where the Avalanche are clearly better than the Knights, and Montreal, who likely wins this series, clearly worse than the Hurricanes. I don't like that. It's a minute.
Here's your next headline. Scottie Scheffler among largest throng atop PGA since 69.
Nice. Rory McIlroy sucked yesterday.
His blister.
I shot even. I was at I did not. I was at right at par for the day. My 18 holes that I shot in the PGA Championship. Scheffler's not had an elite. He's had a good season, not an elite season. I'm still waiting for Scheffler to grab a win. Here's his opportunity. Rory is out of the hunt, and given Scheffler's killer mentality, Rory, who shot 4 over, will bow to Scheffler this weekend at the PGA Championship. Which, if the streets remember, PJ Glasser came on this show yesterday and said Scottie Scheffler is the best golfer alive. He's still a value pick to win the championship this weekend. And he will. Minute.
We're going to stick in hockey. In golf for a second. John Rahm apologizes as a divot from angry swing hits a volunteer.
It was nice of him to apologize for this. I thought it was a non-factor yesterday. I watched the video. Sorry he hit that volunteer. Also, who's volunteering at a PGA tournament? Just go get paid. Like, you should ask them for money. We shouldn't be interning at the PGA Championship. John Rahm, notable good guy, huh? Hit an innocent kid with cancer. A Make-A-Wish volunteer. But at least he apologized.
Here's your final headline. Rangers' Corey Seager aims to figure it out amid a 0-for-27 skid.
I wake up every day. I wake up almost every day.
Weird flex.
And then after I wake up, I look in the mirror and I say, I'm aiming to figure it out today. Could this be the day that I figure it out? I'm aiming to figure it out. I find myself in the game of life in an 0-for-27 skid more often than not. So, Corey, I know you're listening.
Skid marks.
My close and personal friend.
Aims to figure out.
That 2023.
Aims to figure out how to record sports minutes.
I learned something today. I submit the sports minutes by 5:33 every day.
That's not true.
5:34 every day.
That's also not true.
Yes, it is. And I learned today that you don't even open them until 5:54.
So usually before the show, I have to get your highlights together and then round up some other last-minute stuff. So yes, I don't submit them until 6 o'clock. Producing.
Yeah. What if we do the highlights? What if you do the minutes at 6:35? God bless. 5:35, and the highlights at it would hurt Curtis, right?
Yes.
I
try not to give him last-minute stuff, and then you're going to text me going, do we have any highlights? Do we have any highlights? Where are the highlights? Where are the highlights? And then you call me. I can't see the file
Which
names.
I did not text about highlights today.
No, but you did call
I called
me.
you about last. Is that the 40-year-old with tattoos in your call log? I did call you this morning
That's our
about
boss.
last night. Of course, you didn't pick it up. About last night's Westwood One NFL schedule release special, and you did a great job getting those in. You did a great job getting it in.
I always have to help you get it in.
Yep.
Touch yourself.
Coming up, the NFL schedule release last night. Do not overreact. Your team is still going to be bad. Allow me to explain. Addie Bates is producing and Curtis Poindexter's running the board. This is the Drake Toll Show.
The Knicks are waiting to see who's next.
Go on trial just for laughing at the joke, just for saying of the bargain what any sales girl already knows. Most of us old men die at the firing line, just waiting for our number to be called. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Now the king regales his stepson when he's loaded as a gun. Says a real man is like a country. You need a map to find your one. Now I do you suppose you must approach the throne with its back up against the wall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Minds of my generation gladly conscripted in the war of defending any Goliath that would deign darken the door. Now with your genius for picking battles, it's no wonder every helmet is too small. I guess time just makes fools of us all. I guess time just makes fools of us all. My drink is watered down. The champ is on his knees. He lost the rematch. He lost the comeback. He lost for charity, but that's the job. It's what gets the asses in the hall. They came for a beating, and he came to throne. notice that of all the young gods I have known, yours is easily the least famous to turn down the cover of a Rolling Stone. Lily white faces, so familiar and yet impossible to recall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. After a millennia of good times, God said, hey now, let's have a dream where we raise the stakes a little. Come on, let's make things interesting. Parachute into the Anthropocene, an amnesiac, a Himbo doll. I guess time does make fools of us all.
Interesting. Proceed.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Good morning. Drake Toll with you live on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Our 300 affiliates across the country. Hello. Hello, Memphis. Hello, Butte, Montana. Hello, Rochester, New York. It's good to be with you. You can listen live every day on the Westwood One Sports app to the entirety of this show, to hear from Addie Bates, and occasionally be filled in on the escapades of one Curtis Poindexter. Yesterday, the NFL released its schedule. Who the hell cares? Me. But what I don't want to do, because I've been watching it, I quad box every day. I've told you this. I quad box the major networks, major radio shows, major sports shows in the morning to see what they're talking about. More often than not, it is, good morning, everybody. Okay, we're going to do a Mount Rushmore of the best games that you think are on the schedule for Monday Night Football. I don't care. Or they're going to read things out to you. Well, let's read the Monday Night Football schedule for every week in 2026. I don't care. I don't want to just read things to you. I don't want to make a Mount Rushmore. I want to give you the take, not four of the takes. I want to give you the take. And here's my take. Just because the PFF Advanced Analytics tell you that your team has the easiest schedule, or just because the PFF Advanced Analytics tell you your team has the toughest schedule, does not mean you should believe any of it. That is bogus lying. Because here's the deal. Last year, had you found out, oh, dang, in the first 9 weeks of the season, not only do I have to compete against my division, but I also have to play the Ravens, the Chiefs, and the Lions. If last season your team had been told that on May 15th, you would have thought the season was over. Because those three teams are great. Playoff juggernauts. Until those teams sucked. Do not buy into what happened last night as gospel for how your team will perform. Oh man, our schedule's so easy. No, it's not. Oh, I can't believe it. We're the Philadelphia Eagles. We're the 49ers. Our schedule's so hard. No, it's not. You don't know that. Stop overreacting. And honestly, stop reacting.
enjoy the silly videos, enjoy the silly graphics, and enjoy the allure of NFL schedule release in the fact that we get to talk about the National Football League for a day. Take a break from Victor Wembanyama and Anthony Edwards, from the LeBron James saga. For at least a second, we aren't talking about Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel, or Lane Kiffin claiming that Oxford is more racist than Baton Rouge. Yes, that happened this week. For a second, we can relish in the joy of the National Football League and the fact that it's almost upon us. We're not that far away, 100 days away from the NFL kicking off in 2026. Last night, Westwood One Sports did the unthinkable. A 2-hour, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time schedule release special with Scott Graham and Mike Golick with some of the biggest names in sports on the show, including Mike North, the radio personality Mike North, who touched on what I thought was the biggest. This is the takeaway I think you should have, could have. It's that the NFL shipping itself off to foreign lands. Oh, mama, don't you cry. The NFL playing games down under is a slap in the face to Dale, who lives in Topeka, Kansas, and loves the Chiefs and would love to go to a Chiefs game one day, but he can't afford it. Oh, Dale, hello. What if instead of you being able to go see the Chiefs for cheap in Kansas City, we send them to Mexico City or Montreal or London or Sydney? And Dale says, well, damn, man, I already can't afford it. Now I got to buy a plane ticket? No, Dale, of course you don't have to buy a plane ticket. We know you're too broke to do this. We're not doing it for you. We know you love the Chiefs and want to see them. But we're going to send the games overseas. Mike North on international games when he joined Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app last night.
I don't want to minimize the challenges. They are plentiful, but going to the UK has become quote unquote routine. You know, going to Mexico, I hope, is becoming a lot like going to Dallas or Houston, quote unquote routine. Obviously, Rio and Melbourne are not routine. So those are going to take some learnings for us all. There's going to be some growing pains, I'm sure. And, you know, to their credit, the clubs really kind of lean into this. They know exactly what they're getting into. Certainly the Rams and the 49ers were not surprised when we announced that they were playing in Melbourne. They've known for months. And our team is working with their teams operationally, trying to figure out when will we travel? Do we stay on our body clock? Where do we practice? When do we eat? When do we play? You know, it's a morning game over there. That's going to be fascinating to me. You know, a morning game Friday morning in Melbourne for Thursday night here in the States. I'm sure the sports science guys and the health and safety and nutrition guys have already mapped out a plan for how they're going to handle Melbourne. At least when those guys get back, though, you know, they get back, 9, 10, 11 days before their next game. Both Rams and Niners coming home to home games. Rams coming home to a Monday night game, so they get in a little extra day. But the Niners coming home to 3 straight home games. So, yes, they go to Melbourne, but then they're home for a month. I think they're going to figure it out. Rio's going to be interesting. It's right in the middle of the season. There's no buys, you know, in week 4. So the Ravens and the Cowboys are going to play a home game in week 2, play a game in Rio in week 3, and get right back at it in week 4. So we're all going to learn a lot. We're going to be careful. We're going to be smart. We're going to be strategic. And I think we're going to take, I don't want to call it constructive criticism, but feedback, let's say. We're going to take feedback from the Ravens, from the Cowboys, from the Niners and the Rams, and learn a little bit more about it and hopefully be better if we can next year.
You know, I'm not exactly pro these games overseas, but I get they're trying to expand the footprint and the reach of the National Football League, and I guess that part's fine. What I am pro is Monday Night Football, Chiefs and the Broncos, that very first week. Kurt Warner on Westwood One Sports last night waxed poetic about a game like this on a week like that.
When you got the number 1 seed from a year ago in the Denver Broncos going against Kansas City, who I know had a down year. I know Patrick Mahomes, with the knee injury, and is he going to be healthy, and is he going to be back? Like you said, it's so much about intrigue. And the beautiful thing about our league is every game matters. And so now that you know the schedule, you know how big that first game is, we're going to be watching through the rest of the offseason and wonder, okay, where's Patrick Mahomes at this point? I probably should put Bo Nix on that list as well, although, all ideas are that he's going to be fully healthy by the time training camp starts. But coming off of that ankle injury, both these quarterbacks were injured at the end of the year. Will they both be 100% healthy week 1 of the season?
That is the question of that game, although a fun matchup. Will the two quarterbacks be ready to go? Kurt Warner played quarterback. Shocking, I know. It's brand new news for you. Kurt Warner played quarterback. He's been injured before. Both those QBs returning from injury. Kurt, give me something on Patrick Mahomes. Will the best quarterback in the National Football League, could he be back? Where do we sit there?
When a player, if they believe that they're ready and they're cleared to play, and they're in their coach's ear that they want to play, man, it is a tough thing to keep guys like a Patrick Mahomes off the football field. The other thing, though, is we've seen it plenty of times where guys come back, they think they're ready to go, it seems a little bit early, and then they tweak something and they re-injure stuff. And so that, to me, is the cautionary tale, is that every sign, that I've heard up to this point is ahead of schedule, and we get people talking about the best athletes in the world. Somehow they're able to heal a little bit faster than other guys. But, to me, it's you got to make sure these guys are 100% ready to go, that they're ready to protect themselves, that they're ready to do everything that you need them to do or that they're used to doing. Because, Mike, as a former player, it's one thing to say you're healthy by doing rehab. It's another thing to be healthy when you're actually out there and bodies are flying around and people are hitting you and you haven't had a chance to test it yet. And so I think those will be big parameters for Patrick Mahomes, through training camp. As we already know, quarterbacks don't get hit. But how soon can he get out there where there's bodies falling around him and he feels like he can protect himself and he's 100% confident that he can step in and make a throw when bodies are around him? Because that becomes, to me, the most important thing. When you put a player back after injury, do they feel confident mentally, 100% confident that they can do everything that they're used to doing, and there is absolutely no hesitation in how they're going to play on Sunday or Monday night?
Mahomes will get to test that against a stout and sturdy Denver Broncos defense. That's fun. I like that storyline. That you can get excited about. As the Wiggles would say in Addie's Dream, dare to dream. And I don't think that your team is going to win the Super Bowl. I do not think they're going to go undefeated. I do not think they will go winless. Please do not overreact to the NFL schedule release, because we love to overreact. Man, we got the hardest schedule in the league. No, you didn't. The teams on your schedule that you think are going to be good might just suck. Hello, 2025 Kansas City Chiefs. Let's go Chief. With the 63rd pick. Is a trade. It's a great video. When we come back, here on the Drake Toll Show. Last night was incredible in hockey. And Vegas moves on. But is the format right? Is the playoff format in hockey right? Pete Jensen, NHL.com, joins the program. Brought to you by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting your business vehicles 24/7. See if you can save at ProgressiveCommercial.com. It's Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
The PGA Championship is underway right now. Listen to live coverage every day on the Westwood One Sports app. Who steps up when the pressure is highest?
I live in hotels, tear out the walls. I have accountants pay for it all. They say I'm crazy, but I have a good time. I'm just looking for clues at the scene of the crime. Life's been good to me so far. My Maserati does 185. I lost my license, now I don't drive. I have a limo right in the back. I like the doors in case I'm attacked. I'm making records, my fans, they can't wait. They write me letters, tell me I'm great. So I got me an office, gold records on the wall. Just leave a message, maybe I'll call. Lucky I'm sane after all I've been through. Everybody say I'm cool. He's cool. I can't complain, but sometimes I still do. Life's been good to me so
Good morning. It is the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. 12 hours removed from the NFL schedule release, the PGA Championship, the NBA playoffs. We are in the middle of a spring jam-packed in sports. And the NHL is what I've been glued to. I told you a couple weeks ago I went to that double overtime Mammoth and Knights game. Still haven't caught up on my sleep since then. I was just up until 3 a.m. Eastern time with that one. And it feels like so many. I mean, that's what playoff hockey lends itself to. These incredible finishes, these elite games. Except in a 7-game series, you get so much of it jam-packed into one postseason.
No one watches it more. There's no better expert than Pete Jensen at NHL Jensen on Twitter, joining us the old-fashioned way via phone. Pete, good morning. Thanks for being up so early with us. The Avs and the Hurricanes, a combined 16-1 this postseason, and that one loss came from the Colorado Avalanche. Are they still the best team in hockey, or are the Hurricanes hot enough to vie for that title?
I mean, the Hurricanes, if they end up playing the Avalanche in the Cup final, can bring a different wrinkle. They're a possession juggernaut and everything like that. And Frederik Andersen's playing some of the best goaltending of his career. He's started hot, though, in previous postseasons. And then when the scoring has dried up for the Hurricanes, like they couldn't find those finishers in the big spots, then that's when Carolina has fallen flat. Colorado is also a juggernaut, but they're way deeper than Carolina, in my opinion, and they've just won in so many different ways this postseason. They really locked it down against the LA Kings, and then they played a topsy-turvy series against the Minnesota Wild, in which Minnesota really gave them everything they could handle in all 5 games, and that series felt like it should have gone deeper than 5. But the Avs, whether it was game 1 when they blew a lead and they fell behind, or game 5 when they really needed to turn on the Jets when they were down 3-0 and 3-1 in the third period, it seems like the Avalanche, when they get into these pressure cooker situations, they're invigorated by it. And they, of course, have a core that's won the Cup before in 2022, and a lot of different guys with different levels of motivation, either stemming from the Olympics like McKinnon or Brock Nelson, Brent Burns never won the Cup before. There's a lot of motivation and so much more talent on the Avs. So I do believe the Avalanche are the best team right now, but now they're going to be facing Vegas, and Vegas can present some challenges as well.
Pete, the hockey fans, the general hockey fans that have qualms with the playoff system and the way that it is built, that lends itself to the Wild and the Stars in the first round, and the winner of that series taking on the Avalanche. And then here the Golden Knights find their way after a tumultuous coaching change a month and a half ago to the conference finals. What is, when you look at the format of playoff hockey, what is it that makes this format that is unique to professional sports so incredible in its uniqueness?
Well, I think when you have a number of elite teams stacked in one division, we've seen it through the years. It happens. That's the format. So you find these high-intensity first-round matchups. There's usually a couple of them. And honestly, Tampa Bay, Montreal was another one. Those were 2 of the best teams in the Eastern Conference all season long. You saw teams losing home games, right? Montreal, despite winning that series against Tampa, lost 2 home games in the series, and we've seen kind of a weird trend like that continue. Even though Montreal's winning its series against Buffalo, you're seeing another Atlantic Division showdown here with a lot of lead changes, a lot of home games lost in that series. So I do think that the parity in the NHL is unmatched. And then sometimes you find multiple teams in the same division that are cup contenders. And with the format, it's just these teams have a collision course earlier than expected. But I will say Colorado, Vegas, even though they had many bumps in the road and a coaching change this year to Tortorella with 8 games left in the season, Vegas was expected to go deep in the playoffs at the beginning of the season. So they've gotten their stuff together. And now we have a rematch that personally I've been looking forward to for years. Back in 2021, when the Avs and the Golden Knights played in the playoffs, was one of my probably top 5 playoff series since I've been working for the NHL for over 10 years. So I'm really looking forward to that rematch. And Vegas won the first one actually by facing an early deficit and then winning 4 straight games. So now different wrinkles on both sides, but that same intensity. So I'm really looking forward to that series.
Dorofeev to McKinnon, the star-studded series it will be. In the meantime, across the way with the Canadians, the aforementioned Montreal Canadiens and Buffalo Sabres, this series at 3-2 last night. Canadians doubling up Buffalo 6-3 and winning in comeback fashion. If for the Buffalo fans that are listening, Pete, What is it going to take to rattle off 2 straight and rally in a series like this, especially now going on the road in Montreal?
Well, they got a goaltending dilemma here because different goalies in this series, whether it's Alex Lyon or Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, they've had their good performances, but then they've been very leaky and inconsistent on the other side of the coin. So I think we saw it. They wouldn't have won Game 4 without UPL, but then Game 5 was really spotty and allowed a couple of quick goals following Buffalo goals to just totally kill the momentum there. And then, I think the way they played in the third period with all the pressure on the line, obviously Buffalo outshot Montreal 20-3 in the third period. I mean, that's a recipe for success, right? Let's be honest, but a little too late there. The power play has had some struggles for Buffalo, but really, even though Montreal is leading this series at 5-on-5 by a 13-8 margin, it's been closer than that. So I would say even though it's a 3-2 series deficit, teams have won in Montreal before, Buffalo in Game 4 and Tampa, like I said, twice in the first round, one at the Raucous Bell Center. So if they keep that 5-on-5 possession metrics at least slightly in their favor, maybe even more than slightly, they can certainly tilt the scale back. And this has been just a back and forth series that I really expected to go 7 all along.
The Buffalo Sabres score a third of their goals in the first 10 minutes of games this postseason. Problem is, Pete, as you know, there are 50 more minutes of hockey after that, and that's where the Sabres have struggled to put puck in net. It is Pete Jensen at NHL Jensen on Twitter joining the Drake Toll Show. Pete, let's say we get Montreal and Carolina, or even Buffalo and Carolina. We know we'll get the Golden Knights and Colorado. Which of the teams not named, the Avalanche, the Hurricanes, has a true shot, not just to contend or go to the finals, but to win the whole thing as a surprise upset?
Yeah, I mean, Vegas definitely has a chance. The way Mitch Marner is playing, how about Mitch Marner, right, for all those years in Toronto with facing the criticism of not being able to get out of the second round? And hey, it's not just his fault, right? The core in Toronto won 2 playoff series during Marner's whole tenure there, and now they've won 2 playoff series in 1 year since he left. So clearly it wasn't Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner has had incredible moments both at the Olympics where he scored the overtime winner and at that Four Nations tournament where he assisted on McDavid's championship winner and also scored another overtime winner. So this is a clutch two-way player that now we're seeing lead the entire 2026 postseason in points with 18 through 2 rounds, even more than McKinnon. So, McKinnon's been the Conn Smythe frontrunner all along, but you could certainly, Marner is building a strong narrative, especially when you take into account the context of the pressure that he's dealt with for the first 9 postseasons of his career with Toronto and all those shortcomings. Now, Vegas is a big underdog against Colorado, rightfully so, but we also all know that they have the ceiling and the talent with Eichel and Marner and Stone and Carter Hart and these different top-level players that they could pull an upset like Vegas beat Colorado just a few years ago.
Pete Jensen on the Drake Toll Show. Last thing I got for you before we get you out of here quick. Pete, my college roommate Spencer, he's from Montreal, but a big Toronto Maple Leafs fan. And they're like the Philadelphia Eagles fans of the NHL. They're just, even when they win, they're just not happy. They can't be happy. And now coaching changes to front office changes. Give some reprieve. What nice things can we say about the direction of the Maple Leafs as of May 15th?
I mean, the nicest thing I can say is they just won the draft lottery. So if they're going to get Gavin McKenna or somebody else, the ball is in their court. They have new management with John Chayka and Matt Sundin. Sundin is one Maple Leafs legend, of course, and John Chayka had kind of a falling out when he was with the Arizona Coyotes, but he is a big hockey analytics guy. You can't say anything negative about that. I mean, that's the lay of the land right now. And I do think that the Maple Leafs needed a little bit more direction in terms of hockey analytics and how it shapes various decisions in the organization. Not to say they didn't put resources into it before, but a changing of the guard on that needed to help the team reach its full potential. And they still have that elite core with Austin Matthews and John Tavares and, of course, William Nylander. So add in a little Gavin McKenna sauce, if you will, and I think that it'll right a lot of wrongs immediately and give them a higher ceiling in the years to come. I liked Craig Berube, who was their coach previously. He was a cup winner, but I guess, it just wasn't in the works, unfortunately. But I am curious to see who their new coach is going to be, because they're going to have a lot of offensive talent, and hopefully their goalies can stay healthy this year.
Pete, thanks so much for your time this morning.
Anytime. Always fun to talk the playoffs. And, yeah, we got a great conference final coming up, and we just got to see who wraps up this Montreal-Buffalo series.
This
Let's
is
do it.
Westwood One Sports.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Addie Bates producing and Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Friday, May 15th, 8 o'clock hour has begun. You can listen to the entire show, the Drake Toll Show, that is, on the Westwood One app. Or wherever you find your podcast. As soon as the show's over, Addie Bates puts it on podcast. How fun is that? Thanks again to Pete Jensen at NHL Jensen on Twitter. Find more of his hockey coverage. Marner to McKinnon to Dorofia. Bang, baby. Playoff hockey. Can only hope that the Avalanche and the Hurricanes play in the Stanley Cup Finals. It's 8 o'clock. You know what that means. It's time for our Idiot of the Day.
Idiot of the Day.
First Idiot of the Day, Stephen A. Smith. Oh, now this is a 3-minute clip. We're not going to play all 3 minutes. Addie Bates, as the resident University of Texas fan, will get to play a fun game where she can stop this audio whenever she wants. Jump in and tell Stephen A. Smith that he is an idiot. Curtis, roll tape.
Steve Sarkisian, that was low. ISO shot right here, please. Steve Sarkisian, that was low. There's no reason for that. There's no reason for that whatsoever. And I respect Steve Sarkisian. He's a damn good coach. I didn't think he did a great job last year. The reason I didn't think he did a great job last year is because I thought he was too preoccupied with protecting Arch Manning, that basically he didn't do the job that he's shown he's capable of doing from years past by coaching that damn football team. He was too busy coaching Arch Manning, and he's got some making up to do. But I think he's a hell of a coach. You understand, Texas is lucky to have you, and I think this year will be a lot better than last year's was. Having said that, that's a low damn blow. Ole Miss didn't deserve that. And the athletic director who I had the pleasure of meeting when I was down at Ole Miss, and they treated me first class and all of that stuff, this is not about that. The fact of the matter is that I made noise because I talked about when Lane Kiffin was thinking about leaving. Go ahead and leave. Because if you are a black man and you are not from Mississippi and you hear the word Mississippi, whether it's Ole Miss or Mississippi, it's going to give you cause to pause because from an historical perspective, civil rights, Jim Crow laws, et cetera, folks walking around there with the Confederate flag, now, it's an uncomfortable situation. When black folks hear Mississippi, that's the first thought that comes to their mind. But I had never been to Mississippi before other than flying in for college football game day when Deion Sanders was at Jackson State and college football game day was there.
So the main point of that was that Stephen A. Smith is saying to Sark, hey, you saying that all you have to do is take basket weaving and you can walk away with a degree is a low blow. You're right. Sure. Wow. Okay, so let's insult them. No, that's an actual course at Ole Miss. You can look it up. That is an actual course. I feel like the low blow was saying, hey, I hope Sark's drinking is intact. I hope he's not drinking again. I hope he's sober. I feel like that's the low blow. Not the all you have to do is take basket weaving, because I feel like that's normal to kind of make fun of colleges and stuff like that. Like, oh, all you have to do is take history of baseball, or you have love and sex with whatever is going on at Baylor. Isn't that one of your courses you took?
We did have love and sex. Charlie Brewer, he had love and sex 3 times a week.
Wow. It's pretty good.
You done with that's your Texas take?
I just feel like Stephen A. Smith is just speaking out of his ass at that point. Like, that's just a stupid take. That is stupid. It's really not that low of a blow, and the fact that you have a 3-minute rant on that is so dumb. ISO shot, please.
That's a minute.
Interesting.
Per se. Idiots of the day. America for having to watch CJ Stroud versus Bryce Young on Sunday Night Football. Here's Ryan Radke of Westwood One Sports talking last night on our NFL draft. NFL schedule release special. Ryan on that quarterback matchup on prime time.
You know, with Bryce Young, we're talking about, can he make that next step? Can Carolina take the success of a year ago and getting into the playoffs, and can he make and can they make that next step collectively? For CJ Stroud, I think it's different in that he had the great rookie year, and now it's been kind of a backslide. can he get back to that point that he was at a couple of years ago? They keep trying to help out and rebuilding the offensive line. He obviously has an unbelievable defense to help him out. I think it is a big year for both of those guys. Probably bigger for me, in my opinion, with Stroud, because there's just so much more expected of the Texans. And like I said, they have an all-world defense that can help out where he doesn't have to go out and score 30 points a game for them to be successful. That offense just needs to be solid. And if they're solid, that could be good enough. The question is, can they get there? They've been looking for those answers now the last couple of years.
What a QB matchup we will get between Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud. Two guys that will surely one day be NFL stars at their respective position. Idiot of the day. Self-driving cars. The Waymo. This comes to us from the news, the television news. And it is a very funny scene from Wendy Corona, where dozens of empty Waymos invaded an Atlanta neighborhood and circled a cul-de-sac for hours with no passengers. Wendy?
Video here captured several of the self-driving cars just clogging up a neighborhood cul-de-sac. The people living in the Northwest Atlanta neighborhood say dozens end up circling their community. Channel 2 Steve Gelbach is on one street where they want the Waymos to stop.
It's almost every little cul-de-sac around our area, so I think it's a real problem.
Waymo after Waymo after Waymo enter this dead-end street, usually early in the morning.
I think yesterday morning we had 50 cars that came through between 6 and 7.
Neighbors on Battleview Drive started seeing the autonomous, driverless cars 2 months ago, but the groupings and large number of Waymos just started circling in and out in the last couple weeks. They even shared video with us when neighbors used this little guy to put him right out here in the street to block the Waymos from getting into the cul-de-sac, and you can imagine what happened next.
And we had at one point 8 Waymos that were stuck trying to figure out how to turn around.
The Waymos are empty and not picking anyone up, and parents are worried, not only calling it excessive, but dangerous.
We're families, we have small kids, we have animals and pets, we've got kids getting on the bus in the mornings, and it just doesn't feel safe to have that traffic.
Neighbors reached out to Waymo and have not got a response. They've also contacted their council member, representatives, and GDOT, and don't know what to do.
We would just like to see them stay on main traffic roads. I don't think there's any reason to be on small residential cul-de-sacs if they're not picking up somebody.
Steve Gelbach, Channel 2 Action News.
I guess it's got to be so good. It's 50 self-driving cars malfunctioned and just started doing circles around a cul-de-sac.
Doing donuts.
Kids couldn't go to school because there were self-driving. Just imagine. Just picture the cars. No driver. No driver. These empty cars just going around in a circle in a cul-de-sac. 50 of just lined up like a parade of self-driving cars.
Children are running and screaming.
And people are trying to go to work, and they can't even get out of their driveway, and they have to call their boss. And they gotta tell them.
Laugh this much. Oh my gosh, you're
They gotta
actually
tell
crying
their
and laughing.
They gotta tell their boss that there are self-driving cars outside their house that are malfunctioning.
Sounding schizophrenic.
And they're just driving in circles. I love it. She said that they haven't gotten a response from Waymo or the city council. City council's like, what the hell are we supposed to do? The self-driving. Oh my gosh. The video is so funny. Of these cars, no humans in them at all.
Oh my god.
I need to know. Did one of the cars start this and the rest of them like, damn man, guess we have to go do that too.
That looks really fun.
I've never seen you laugh this much.
They're so coordinated and synchronized. These self-driving cars.
Curtis and I are just
This is why AI is taking over.
The headline of self-driving cars take over Atlanta neighborhood, and how seriously upset the homeowner sounded at this. Oh, that is so rich. I cannot believe it. Addie, what are your thoughts on Waymo? I sound like RFK. What are your thoughts on Waymos?
I was driving to our studio one day early in the morning, and there was a Waymo car. It was just 2-lane road, and there was one right in front of me trying to turn right. There was nowhere to turn right, and so I literally was late to work. This is our studio whenever I had to go in there at 5 in the morning because there was a Waymo car that was trying to take a right. By the way, taking a right into the Australian embassy. And I was like, that's not an entrance. That is not an entrance. I was like, we are both going to get shot. We are going to get shot because you're trying to go into the embassy. I hate them. I hate them so much.
So we had one clogging a roundabout in front of our building yesterday, too.
No, we need to get rid of these.
The concept of a Waymo stuck in a roundabout is already funny enough, but an army of 50 of them in a neighborhood roundabout where do you honk? What do you volunteer? Do you send your child to stand in front of the Waymo and hope that it stops?
I'll volunteer as tribute. Curtis probably just sniffing it out.
Correct. It's a great Blip and Nitro. Somehow Blip, Nitro, and Curtis have to keep the Waymos out of the Atlanta neighborhoods. Oh,
clarity will ensue.
This is a great Scooby-Doo. It's a really good Scooby-Doo episode about this. The jokes write themselves. Speaking of, our idiot of the day, dumb people. Here is the President of the United States.
Anyway, they're defective. I came up with a new name. I don't know if I should.
Oh, I know which one it is.
Democrats.
Said,
they're dumb. They're dumb. It's D-U-M. I got rid of the B. So you're only changing one letter, right? E goes and the U comes. It's a Democrat.
You know you take up more space in people's heads than any one person on the face.
Didn't he call a reporter dumb the other day, too? There's a new word for the week.
I took away the B. Just D-U-M. Ocrats.
The E goes, the U comes.
I need you to play it again, but I want everyone to hold on to the first word he says. It sounds like my mom when she's been rambling on a phone. I have her on speaker. I'm doing laundry. The phone's in the other room. She's on minute 6 of the rant, and she just goes, and anyway, and please play it again.
Anyway, they're defective.
He's talking about the Waymos.
Anyway. As if that's one of those. I've been there so many times in my life. When I say anyway in that tone, I have no idea what the sentence prior was. I've rambled myself to death. I can't. I don't know. Well, anyway, what are you gonna do? I got a nickname for them, the Democrats. Get it, but no B.
I'm shocked he knew there was
comes
B
after the E. One more time, Curtis. Hit me with that.
Anyway, they're defective.
Anyway. Like we're just gossiping. Anyway.
It does sound like my grandma giving the cheese man or something.
Oh my goodness. Idiot of the day, Georgia football. They've done it again. College transfer portal tweets breaking. Literally breaking. Another Georgia football player, Jamarly Riddle, arrested on 2 felony charges. Speeding at 100 miles per hour. And possession of a controlled substance. All right. Who among us? He could have taken the damn Waymos, but they were all in that Atlanta suburb.
Anyway.
Which is thing going on there.
It sounds like the guy who's like, my father was a Hasidic Jew, and it's that. It's got some of that to it. You know what I'm talking about? The guy with the long hair. Oh, it's great. Final idiot of the day. People who don't know the lore behind this. Why is the Rams Why is the Rams a Colorado Avs logo? This is the Los Angeles Chargers doing their schedule release, and they put an Avalanche logo for the Rams for Week 8, Addie.
Do you remember whenever the owner of the Rams, he wore an Avalanche jersey to the draft, so he's calling people wearing this Avs jersey for the Rams? Do you remember
Why
that?
not, man? Dudes rock. Haven't I told you that dudes rock?
I think it was Les Snead that had the shirt on.
I'm pretty sure it was...
Because
No.
Kroenke owns the Avalanche too.
Yeah, but remember, they were all in the room wearing Avs stuff during the draft. While, by the way, the Avs were playing the LA Kings.
Anyway.
To LA. My father gets a job at the Palm Restaurant. My Uncle Junior works there, who was a Jehovah's Witness. Believe it or not, he went from Catholic to Jehovah. So basically, my grandmother wanted us all to switch from Catholic to Jehovah.
Anyway. that's the clip. Addie Bates produces. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. The Ole Miss RFK'd again. Ole Miss expert is going to join us on the show on the next segment to talk about basket weaving. It's Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. He's making fun of the secretary. Them fight words right there. I'm gonna stick them Weibos on his neighborhood next. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Make up your mind. Decide to walk with me around the lake tonight. Around the lake tonight. By my side. By my side. I'm not gonna lie. I'll not be a gentleman behind
Good morning. It is the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Live for our 300 affiliates across the country. Thank you for being with us from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. every single day. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12, and right here on Westwood One Sports. Well, I didn't think there would be a world where the sound would play. Banana. Welcome back to the Drake Toll Show. Which town is more racist, Oxford or Baton Rouge? Didn't have that in the cards for this spring, but it is the conversation we've had to have multiple times this week because of Lane Kiffin. Now, the expert on all things Ole Miss, Stephen Willis, at the Stephen Willis, host of Locked On Ole Miss, joining the Drake Toll Show. Stephen, is basket weaving a real class at Ole Miss, and is it harder than people actually expect?
Well, in the age of NIL, shouldn't it be? If it's not hard, if it's easy, isn't that a recruiting tool in this era? I think it's funny that the only people speaking out about Ole Miss really speaking out is like the USC trio of Ed Orgeron, Steve Sarkisian, and Lane Kiffin. Everybody else kind of ignoring this. The middle of May, when we should be talking about, hey, how's Trinidad Chambliss adjusting to John David Baker? We're sitting here bringing up this trope from back in the day. And it's absolutely stupid. But if you remember back in January, I called him a malignant narcissist. And 5 months later, I was absolutely proven right.
It rears its ugly head again. I think there's the St. George community of Baton Rouge, Willis, I've done some research on, that is the east side of Baton Rouge that unincorporated itself from the city to get away from the school district to create its own predominantly white school district so they didn't have to fund the predominantly black side of town. That seems a little bit, it seems a little worse than what I'm hearing out of Oxford. How absurd is this take that Ole Miss cannot recruit, or definitely can't out-recruit LSU for racial issues?
Well, the one thing that Ole Miss has in its past is the whole SEC is ganged up on Ole Miss on this issue for the better part of about 50 or 60 years. And some of that is deserved. Now, it really is. But that forced Ole Miss to kind of take stock and own what happened, learn from it, work to become inclusive. Now, if you go to Oxford, Mississippi, anything like that, that doesn't happen. Trinidad Chambliss was asked by Bomani Jones in his interview in Vanity Fair before Lane Kiffin randomly had one, did anybody have any apprehension about sending his kid to Ole Miss or Mississippi? And every one of them said, no, this isn't a thing. The head of the NIL, or somebody very high up in the NIL system, I should say, is coming up. He said, Lane Kiffin never even mentioned this in 6 years. He complained about stadium size, the Manning Center, the students showing up in the fourth quarter for games, but he never mentioned this. If it was such a hot button item, this honestly, and this is sickening, it really is. This was honestly, in my opinion, a recruiting ploy by Lane Kiffin because he has to go to Oxford on September 19th. A 5-star recruit was on Ole Miss's campus from Lafayette, Louisiana, 3 days earlier. That is how he minimalized this situation that is actually a very serious issue in the society that we have all over a recruit going over, all over recruiting, trying to make himself look better, look grander in the situation. It's the malignant narcissist playbook. It rears its ugly head again.
Stephen Willis joining the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app, coming in from Locked On Ole Miss. Willis, Lane Kiffin has not won at a championship level, whether it was with the Raiders, Tennessee. We talk about resources. USC has resources. Ole Miss, he built but couldn't win a championship. What is keeping Lane Kiffin away from that word, championship?
Lane Kiffin. That's what's keeping him away. Me and you have the same playoff record as Lane Kiffin. I mean, this isn't a thing. And there's rumors like in 2024, Ole Miss had potentially the best roster in the entire country. He went 9-3 with it. That wasn't an Ole Miss problem. That wasn't a problem with something that happened in 1955. That was the fact that you lost to Kentucky, and their only conference win kept you out of the playoff competing for that. You could have went to the playoff. You had the roster to do it. You could not get it done. In my opinion, after that, that is the moment that he decided that it could not happen at Ole Miss. And I think in 2025, Ole Miss went to the playoff in spite of Lane Kiffin, not because of him.
Again, Stephen Willis here on the Drake Toll Show. This whole Steve Sarkisian deal. I was a Baylor Bear, and we had a class called Love and Sex. It always sounded odd, Willis, when you'd say, yeah, my buddies and I have love and sex today. Well, you got to give some context to that one. If you go to the University of Texas, you can take Star Trek class. They've got that. I mean, you can take tennis. You can take some of these, arguing the end of the world is a class about the apocalypse at the University of Texas. Where did this come from, this stray from Steve Sarkisian? How did he get involved this week?
Honestly, I think he's frustrated with Texas more than Ole Miss. And I think Ole Miss just having so much success in the transfer portal just kind of brought that to light. That became the example. But his real problem was the fact that a player that transfers in only gets to keep 50% of his credits. All the work that you've done goes away. If a degree is interested, it is going to be detrimental to go to the University of Texas. I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. That's not a problem at Ole Miss. Ole Miss has been in the top 5 in the transfer portal since there's been a transfer portal. So I do think it's an easy target. And, of course, his buddy at LSU, throw him a bone, I guess, and maybe try and bury the story from Vanity Fair as well. But I do think that he was talking to Texas more than Ole Miss, but whenever you say that, it's a shot at Ole Miss. I get the fact that everybody got upset about it, because when I was at Ole Miss, I'll be honest about it, I took a class called quantitative reasoning. That sounds really hard, right? And whenever you hear a name like that, one of the questions on the final exam is, what are the odds of rolling a 6 on a 6-sided die? I mean, all schools
even
have
I can do
classes
that one.
like that. Yeah. All schools have classes like that.
The response from Pete Golding this week has been mature, and honestly, the lack of response. He's not tweeting. He's not making these big public statements. He kind of put it to rest quickly in his press conference earlier in the week. What have you made of not just Pete Golding's ability to handle this situation, but how different Golding is handling it as compared to what Ole Miss fans are used to with the former head coach Lane Kiffin?
Yeah, listen, whenever you have a former coach like Lane Kiffin, he's been there 6 years, you know him pretty well. You know all of his ticks.
Yeah.
You know how to manipulate that person pretty easily, right? I mean, let's just be honest about it. Ole Miss not saying anything, Ole Miss not engaging, Ole Miss letting him sink and kind of let him continue to dig his own grave a little bit with the talking going on. I mean, that's the PR playbook in this situation as well. But Pete Golding has shown that he's not going to respond to you just because you said something about his program. That's not what he does. He 100% cares about himself as far as the Ole Miss program. He's not worried about what LSU does. He's not worried about what Clemson does. He's not worried about any of that stuff. He is trying to build up his own program, and it's like he said, if he had time to do Twitter and all of that stuff, he would be a much better football coach than he is. But as it is, he has to spend a whole lot of work in the building on what he's doing, being a first-year coach. So I don't think that Ole Miss needs to reply to what's going on. I think this is a one-way conversation that benefits Ole Miss, and it's weird to have any sort of discussion about race and Ole Miss is on the winning side of that debate. That's a weird feeling. But that's absolutely the case, and the worst thing you can do right now is kind of rock that boat.
Yep, and you hit the nail on the head earlier as somebody myself who grew up around Fayetteville, Arkansas, or Starkville, Mississippi, or you can go to Gainesville, Florida, Tallahassee, these deep South schools. There are still Baton Rouge, Louisiana. hints and even in some cases blatant examples of racism and things that need to be eradicated to this day. And again, you touched on that so eloquently earlier. This is not just like an Oxford problem. It happens at Oxford in the same way it happens in Baton Rouge. It's the fact that Lane Kiffin called it out as an Oxford issue when it is not limited to just Ole Miss, and Ole Miss is not the exception. Ole Miss is in the same category of schools and towns trying to make it better. Willis, before we get you out of here, let's go to the football field, the gridiron for the last one. How good, Trinidad Chambliss leading the way, how good will Ole Miss be in the SEC in 2026?
I think the Ole Miss-Texas game has a chance to be the game of the year in the conference. I think those are the best two teams. I don't know who is the better team. I know the game in Austin probably holds some weight, but when you have a quarterback like Trinidad Chambliss, who by all accounts this spring took a major step forward, if he did that after what we saw a year ago, you're going to have a team with a quarterback that, for lack of a better word, is Baker Mayfield-ish, is Johnny Manziel-ish. It's a quarterback that can take over a game and has the ability to do that. And they have Kewan Lacey. They have talent all over the place. Jonte Cook, I think, it has a chance to be a really good player in this offense. And the defense has been completely rebuilt. The problems that they had a year ago, they think they addressed that, and they're going to be able to play a little bit more man coverage when the other team knows that man is coming. And if they can do that, all of a sudden it gets a little weird for other teams. Yeah, I think they're going to be pretty good.
Stephen Willis on the Drake Toll Show. This segment's been brought to you by Austin Simmons. Willis, thanks so much for your time this morning.
Thank you, man.
You can give him a follow at the Stephen Willis, STEVEN on Twitter. Lane Kiffin this week calling Oxford, Mississippi, a place that was so racist, that parents, grandparents could not send their children, their grandchildren, to school there to play for Ole Miss. But they would love to go to the safe haven of Baton Rouge, and that became quite the topic, quite the storyline of college football this week. The main storyline, the headline today, in the NFL, schedule released last night. Westwood One Sports and their schedule release special was awesome. Kurt Warner joined the program, Leonard Williams, Mike North. We had Ryan Radke, Kevin Harlan. The list of names alongside Scott Graham and Mike Golick were large. When we come back, let's hear from those who gave their thoughts on where the NFL is headed in 2026. And for me, your team is going to either suck or not suck, no matter what their schedule looks like. And this release is really not that deep. This release is really not that deep. What does that mean? What that means. This is the Drake Toll Show.
I got a sweet little baddie and she's rolling in the caddy with me.
Good morning. It is the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Today's show is sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting your business vehicles 24/7. See if you can save at progressivecommercial.com. We will get to our moment of the week today because it's Friday and that's what we do. We're not there yet, though. Close. Not there yet.
We're edging to
the
it.
NFL schedule. There it is. The NFL schedule release last night. Who gives a ding? You saw it, and your first thought was, oh, yes, my team's going to be so good. I can't wait. My schedule's so easy. Its PFF grade is 30th in the NFL, meaning that's going to be the third easiest schedule out there. Wrong. Because I could have told you last year that your team was going to play the Lions, the Chiefs. I could have told you your favorite team would play the Baltimore Ravens, and you would have thought, oh, man, what a tough year it's going to be for us. And those teams sucked. You don't know what's going to happen. You have no clue. Neither does the PFF grade. Anyone who's telling you you have the easiest schedule in the league or the hardest schedule in the league is wrong. Because, again, if they told you this time last year that you had the hardest schedule in the league because you had the Chiefs, the Lions, the Ravens, you'd have thought, yeah, we got the hardest schedule. This is brutal. But it's not, because you just don't know. I do think the NFL got some things right. No Monday night doubleheaders is one of those. I don't want a game to start at 7:30 and another game to start at 10:30. Get that off. Off. Don't do it. And last night on the Westwood One NFL schedule release special, my close and personal friend Kevin Harlan said that the NFL, they're going in that direction fast and heavy. No Monday night doubleheaders.
The NFL is always pretty nimble, and they get it in terms of putting the best games, the marquee games, on those single slots. And another reminder about Monday night this year, we don't have the doubleheaders anymore. Those are going elsewhere. Those games no longer exist. We've been going through those things for about 3 or 4 or 5 years, and they've always been kind of cumbersome and a little bbit clunky. That's gone now. So the Monday night game is a standalone game. Thursday, standalone game. Sunday night has always been a standalone game. So even in the heart of the regular season, without holidays playing a factor, that they've kind of redefined those standalone games, and the league will not hesitate as we get into the year and storylines develop and injuries taking their toll, or they don't. Switches can be made, and that always leaves, I think, on these standalone nights, Thursday, Sunday, Monday, a time to really know that we're always going to get the best game and the biggest stage with the best audiences.
I think the NFL nailed it there. They did not nail it with the international games. Don't like that. Because Jeff in Mobile already can't go see the Falcons play because tickets are too expensive. I get that, Jeff. I can't see the Falcons play either. So how are you going to see the Falcons play in London or Sydney or Mexico City or Tijuana? Sending the damn Falcons to Madagascar. Curtis. And you think that these fans, you think it's going to help access to the NFL? No. But what will help your pomp, circumstance, coverage, your publicity is a loaded slate. Goodbye, NBA, of 4 Christmas Day games. Last night, joining Westwood One Sports was Leonard Williams on Christmas Day and the implications of playing games on December 25th.
I mean, it's definitely tough for some people. There's a lot of people that have families. We all sacrifice to play this game, and we've been sacrificing since the time we were, young through high school. Some people, playing Pop Warner, Little League, and stuff like that. We've always had to sacrifice, and as long, like I just said, this game doesn't last forever. We're lucky to play into our 30s, which is still young in real world. So I think it's worth just a little bit more sacrifice to get things that we want done, accomplished. And, if that means like, sacrificing a little bit of time with our family on Christmas Day and, maybe celebrating Christmas on Saturday instead, then it is what it is.
Thanks to that sacrifice, NFL fans can watch football all day Christmas Day. And we're a ways away from that. But you know how nice it's going to be? The ball is tipped. To wake up that day and know that the full slate is ready. After Santa Claus comes, and the cookies and the milk and then football all day on a holiday. Don't mind that at all. Last night was a huge success. Hope you got to listen. Mike North to Ryan Radke, Kevin Harlan, Kurt Warner, Leonard Williams, Mike Golick, Scott Graham. Any name that was a name yesterday. I feel like they were on Westwood One Sports last night talking about the NFL schedule release, and it was top-notch. It is time for our moments of the week on the Drake Toll Show. Thanks to Addie Bates for producing and putting these together. Curtis Poindexter for running the board. The number 3 moment of the week comes from our very own. He is a sidekick to the superheroes from the animated hit series Blip and Nitro, named after the 2 heroes, Blip and Nitro. He is Curtis Poindexter with the number 3 moment of the week.
I don't know if we're going to have enough time for this. That's it.
There it is. Thank you, Curtis, the number 3 moment of the week. Twice. 3 times. 4 beers. 5 beers.
Automatic.
6 beers. And a Bloody Mary. Can you give me the anyway?
No, I don't have any more.
That's fine. Yep. Nope. There it is. All right. The number 2 moment of the week on the Drake Toll Show this week. The Washington Wizards. Thank you, Curtis. Will not have the number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft. At least that's what I said. The Wizards don't need A.J. DeBonsa. But the Utah Jazz need the Washington Wizards. If you play your cards right, if you do this correctly, you will play into the pathos, the emotion of an owner of an NBA organization who really wants this one player. And you'll say, fine, you can have him. But at what cost? What do we get? And the Wizards will still get Cam Boozer. The Wizards will still get Darren Peterson, somebody with a big name, a game changer, an organization definer. And they'll win. Let me be clear. The Washington Wizards will not have the first overall pick in the 2026 NBA draft. And let me be even clearer. If by some chance that statement is false, if by some chance the Washington Wizards do have the number 1 overall pick in the 2026 NBA draft, that is a colossal organizational failure.
Anyway.
The Wizards, the Wizards have far too much to earn, to gain, to take from the Utah Jazz to allow the Jazz to move to the number 1 overall pick, to take A.J. DeBonsa, because Ryan Smith, the owner of the Jazz, who's one of the biggest BYU donors in the world, who helped get A.J. to the state of Utah, and to BYU, Ryan Smith wants A.J. DeBonsa. And it's worth it for Ryan Smith because jersey sales, to ticket sales, to like the whole BYU crowd out there. It is an army of BYU fans that want A.J. DeBonsa as a member of the Utah Jazz. Ryan Smith can make that happen. The Wizards can win by taking whatever Ryan Smith offers, and then some. Moment of the week this week. This is maybe one of the best quotes we've ever gotten from a guest. Grant Paulson talking on the MLB, its collective bargaining agreement, and a potential lockout.
So I definitely think we're headed for a work stoppage, right? There is going to be something lost. The question is, how much time is lost? And will we miss regular season dates and games? I think spring training will look very different, right? They're not going to agree in time to have a normal spring training because, let's face it, I don't know how many of the players that are involved in the negotiations here at the highest level, the veterans, the guys who have been around a long time, they're mostly the ones in the room. those guys don't want to be at spring training or care that much about it anyway. So it's all the more leverage for them to miss out on some of those dates and some of that ramp-up time, as long as they can get the couple of weeks they need on the back end, a la when we saw the COVID restart, or even, in the last work stoppage, if you remember, there was springtime missed, and then there was a couple-week build-up, and then we played baseball games. So to me, that's the big question is, do we miss an opening day? Do we miss out on dates and push the start of the season deeper into, let's say, April or early May or something? I have been of the belief that was going to happen for a while. It just seems like the ultimate stare down between the two sides when you're talking about needing a cap and then needing a floor, two things that to me feel like they are impossibilities that the other side's not going to budge on. But I got to say, I've talked to enough people around baseball in the last month or so since we started up here in 2026, where I now feel a lot more optimistic that there's just too much at stake. And there's too much progress. There's too much momentum. If you look at the television numbers, baseball is on a rocket ship right now. The health of the sport financially, what owners are raking in, the attendance numbers nationally across the sport, all of these things, the arrow is trending up. So it would be the ultimate shot in the foot and just an unnecessary regression that you've self-caused if you were to have a work stoppage. Now, there's a lot of work to be done. I think we're going to be up against it, but I think basically everything will be done at the last possible second to start on time is kind of where I'm at right now. The last thing I'd say on this, Drake, is the issue. One of the issues I have, I am more pro player than pro owners generally. I'll just say that because I think they're the ones playing the game, and the piece of the pie that should go to the players should be massive. There's no doubt about that. But the one thing I will say is I do feel like whenever the players get heavily involved, the guys that are doing a lot of the talking and the guys that are doing a lot of the negotiating, if you will, in air quotes, are the dudes that are making a couple $100 million. They're fine.
Yeah.
In a work stoppage, the sport is made up of a lot more guys that are making the minimum. And I'm not suggesting that $700K or whatever, $600,000, whatever that is not a huge number to the average person listening around the country today. But those players can't have a work stoppage. They don't have millions of dollars docked away. You buy your house and your car and you take care of a family member, and next thing you know, you're looking forward to the next season's money, right? So I've always found that interesting that we hear so much from the players that are making their $225 million contract or whatever, but that's not who makes up the entire sport. Most of the sport is guys that aren't making anywhere near that.
The $200 million player is going to force us into a stoppage, a lockout. And the $600,000 player, the $700,000 player is going to suffer for it because they will not get a paycheck. Because they bought their house expecting to get the paycheck every year. They helped their mom. They paid for that bill for a family friend because they expected to get a paycheck. And they won't now because the rich guys who have nothing to worry about money-wise are forcing us into a lockout in Major League Baseball. Addie Bates has produced all week. Curtis Poindexter has done whatever the hell Curtis does.
Anyway.
Wow. Anyway, he looks good doing it, though. To Bruce Gilbert, Armin Williams, Colin Jones, Ryan McGuire, the C-suite that gave me a job. Boy, thank you. Please keep it that way. Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Nick Costos, You Better You Bet is coming up. Thanks for a great week, folks. We'll see you on Monday. This has been, it always will be, The Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One's